Good morning, Vanessa Davidson. You're here with Knox Financial. My name is Walter Moreau of the Alchemist Nation Podcast. This is a real estate podcast teaching people how to earn more, learn more. And what we do is we go all across the country. We talk to people who are really smarter than me, who are doing bigger and better deals than I am, and also people who are parts of companies and service industry that help us make more money. So tax professionals and different types of property managers, real estate agents. What we're talking to today is Vanessa actually works at Knox Financial. You've probably heard their commercials on Bigger Pockets. And I wasn't going to interview Vanessa until one of my friends who's a financial advisor said, this chick is on fire. You got to talk to her. She's a hustler. So Vanessa, that is your introduction. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you so much for having me. That was an amazing intro. Wish I got
to I've been practicing. Fortunately, it is recorded, so I can send it over to your PR team and they can make sure it's used on everything you guys do. So Vanessa, I gotta ask, you showed up at a cigar and real estate event the other day that I was running, and I was completely shocked to meet you in person because we'd already scheduled this interview. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to meet her on the interview. And now I actually got to meet you already. And I know a lot about you and the company. So how did you end up at the cigar shop? I gotta ask.
So as you mentioned, Bigger Pockets, we are currently running some ads on the platform. And I wanted to participate, meet some folks who may have heard about us, introduce myself in person, and connect with, other investors, real estate professionals in the Rhode Island area to, one, get some feedback on the product on our platform, and then two, just, get out. It's been COVID crazy times, and it's time to get some fresh air and meet some new faces.
The irony is that fresh air now meant cigars, so nothing fresh about the air until we moved outside.
We did get to go outside.
That is true. So you're right. How has affected your business, do you think, COVID and the networking, right? Because we're salespeople, so being able to network is really big for us. How has it affected your business?
So it's been really interesting. I mean, for the most part, we are all making do, utilizing Zoom as we are now. And, going back to, I think, some of the older sales tactics, hitting the phones. I know when I first started my career, I did a lot of cold calling and visiting that. So that's kind of nice in a way to be able
to. Not nice. Nobody likes going back to cold calling. You're just good at it,
right? Right. But it is nice that, we live in an amazing time. At least we have the technologies that we have to utilize. So we've just been leaning into the current climate and trying to continue to engage in whatever capacity that we're able to.
I like that. So when you moved, because you shifted, you were originally from Massachusetts like I am, you shifted over to Rhode Island, and now I'm steering the conversation a little bit here, but what made you go back to Rhode Island or experience Rhode Island?
So anybody who knows me knows that I love Rhode Island. I've always wanted to live here. And when I had the opportunity to move down here, I took it with a vengeance. Specifically, I've always wanted to be involved with bringing something unique and helpful to the Rhode Island property market, whether that was in rentals. I worked for a nonprofit agency helping house the homeless for a while, so connecting landlords and homeless individuals and families to, kind of enhance the housing experience for folks who are often slighted. And then now at Knox, I get to highlight the state even more and show folks how they can build wealth through investments that they already typically own.
I like that. So Vanessa, now that I know why you shifted over to Rhode Island, I don't really know, but I think it's probably because Rhode Island's just more fun than Massachusetts and a little bit more affordable. Is that fair to say?
More fun, more affordable. I personally love art. I love food. And I think that Rhode Island, as we say, it's a small state with the biggest art scene and an incredible food scene as well. The beaches, the people, I mean, there's not much to dislike about Rhode Island, in my opinion.
I agree. I love it. I love it. So I'm always talking about Fall River, and I'm always promoting Fall River, especially if you're from Boston. I'm like, yeah, it's cheaper down here. We have more experiences. It's more, we're closer to Rhode Island, right? So that's the highlight. We're very close to Providence and the Cape. So with Rhode Island, you have, I'd say, an unfair advantage. As a state, you got pretty much everything. You get all the seasons, you get all the different sceneries, all the different types of businesses, opportunities everywhere. And because it's such a small state, it's actually very affordable. There's a lot of affordable areas, and we love Rhode Island for that aspect. So real estate, and I know you kind of talked a little bit of how you got into real estate, but what made you come to Knox Financial? What is it about this company that you really felt, okay, it's time to make this change?
Sure. So I had been working in the nonprofit sector for 3 to 4 years, and I was working out of Quincy, Massachusetts. COVID hit. And I mean, in my heart of hearts, I knew, like I said, I wanted to be part of bringing something fresh and new to Rhode Island in the real estate vortex. So I started to look for opportunities that would keep me closer to home. And I came across Knox. I just fell in love with the concept, the idea of bringing it specifically to Rhode Island, where, as you said, there's a lower barriers of entry here, which means for a Knox client, there's higher possibilities for return.
Yep. Absolutely. Those Knox clients, they just be collecting that cash. Yup, a little bit more here in Rhode Island. All right, not too bad.
Exactly.
Not bad. So, Vanessa, what does Knox do? Because I know it's like a fintech. It's like a financial tech company. You're not on the stock market yet, so I don't have any shares, but I would love to jump in on the IPO when you guys do get ready.
You will be first on my list when we're ready. I'll let you know.
All right.
Back. So what we do, I would say we do the same thing for 2 sets of client profiles. So for our homeowners, we help them turn properties that they're moving out of into rental properties, and they become completely passive investment property owners. And for investors, we help build the portfolios faster by removing the burdens that are associated with becoming a landlord or being a landlord, by again continuing that narrative of passive ownership. And we take care of everything for both client profiles, just so they can sit back, relax, and reap the benefits of significant wealth that comes with investment property ownership.
I love everything you just said. Sit back, relax, benefits of wealth that comes with rental property. That's literally why we get into this business. So that is your mission. That's like what you do. How do you do it? What is it that makes your company different from another property management company?
Yeah, so we have there's quite a few differences between us, but we are a platform. So we've created a customer-centric platform that brings together everything that's needed to run an investment property. So from insurance, from legal, tenant management, tenant sourcing, financing, refi, everything that you can think of, we take care of. We do that with a team of experts. So everybody from our product team to our marketing department, rental team, sales department, expansion team have all been experts in their niche prior to coming on board the platform. And then from there, so from a logistical perspective, what happens is we provide a free property analysis to anybody who's interested in seeing how their investment is likely to perform, and make sure that the numbers make sense based on that individual's financial goals. Then we onboard the units or home onto the platform. Very simple process, completely easy. And after the unit's been onboarded, we take care of everything from there.
So even though you're not, so it's a platform, almost like Buildium or Appfolio or Propertyware or Cozy. This is a platform, but it's also got people behind it.
Correct.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
different from the softwares that you've just listed, we have developed our own software. This does allow, it's a great tool for us. It's a great tool for our clients. It looks at cash flow, equity growth, internal rate of return year over year for a 30-year period. But because we are, as you mentioned, a financial tech company, we have built this software and we're able to change it as we change as well. So we're continuing to always, develop that out to meet our clients' needs as best as possible.
So I got to ask, who created this? Who came up with this technology that allows you to, there's already other software, right? There's already other software. Like, why go and reinvent the wheel? What makes Knox Financial a worthwhile investment for not just a new landlord or somebody who's trying to come into the business, but for the developer themselves? What was it about the other firms that they said, you know what, I've got to go and do this? And what was the developer's background? Or is this just a guy who owned rental property and hired a bunch of developers? What is the story behind the owner of the company here?
No, so great question. And I would say it's kind of two parts. So the first part, who developed it? So our founder, he came from a tech background, very successful tech background, and he went to sell a property and realized that there was a opportunity to, seek some or reap some of the rewards of increased housing value, but didn't understand or know how he could be a landlord at the time. Very busy schedule, growing family. And he sat back and identified everything that he would need or want in terms of a company to represent his investment. He ended up selling it, and now it's worth, so much more. And so he walked away from one of the best investments that he could have had. Luckily for him, he has such a strong background and a great skill set. So he formed Knox to provide a solution to folks instead of selling your home, you can hold on to it and very easily when you work with our platform. And, that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to help people be landlords, but without all the headaches that come along with it.
I agree. I love the fact that he recognized that he sold his best asset and would have held it if it was easier to manage, easier to keep track of. We're at, me and my business partner, at 62 units right now, or 60 units. And because we're doing a couple of flips, so we can't really count those right now. And managing those, I had a property software at 3 units because right off the bat, I realized I don't want to manage all of this, and I'm going to forget things. Maybe I'll remember their names. Like, yes, I get their names and their units, but that's about as far as I trust, with security deposits and all the maintenance, because sometimes we defer maintenance. It's just, hey, yes, okay, I recognize it's an issue. That's not getting done this month. There's no money in the budget. That's a next month thing. Or I'll get you your windows. I'll replace all the windows in 2 years, right? I said that, I stated it, but we're not doing it, all of them right now. Maybe I'll do one a month until we can get this thing swung. And the softwares allow that. What would you say is the biggest difference between Knox Financial and say, I won't use any names, right? I won't use any of the other companies, right, but the competitor.
Yeah. So going back to the second part of your previous question, there's software. A lot of people have software. No one has the software that we have. So the software we have, we built it with the idea to be able to show people what their investments actually look like. So yes, you can enter your address into Zillow, shouldn't say the name, but into a software program.
Enter your address at gualtermrollo.com and search for property there.
You can enter your address in a lot of different websites and see what your home yours, but you're not necessarily seeing the same data that we're able to capture. We're looking at properties on a unique level. So based on the current owner's position on the home, it's the information that we're generating is very specific to that owner. And then the data that we're pulling is also specific. There's not a lot of tools out there to look or show how your wealth will develop over time. And we can do that. So yes, there are some, different applications that you could use, but no one has the software that we've had. It's the first of its kind.
All right, now you've brought a question up. I know my business partner will ask. So is it possible, because I know Ron, if he watches this, which he never watches my podcast, so whatever, Ron, but if he was watching this, he would be saying, okay, great. I love the software I'm using. I love my property manager. Because that is a tool he would love, because he right now manually pulls everything over to Mint and invest something, one of those financial companies to check our net worth and validate. Is it possible to just pull our reports, drop it in Knox Financial and say, okay, this is the forecast, what we see going down?
That's possible. We would obviously double check it and run it through our software. And then we continue to do so too. So it's not just a one-time shot. We're analyzing how the property is performing every year to make sure that we're positioning it to receive the highest max rents as possible. Right. So looking at deductions, looking at rental increases, looking at the projected increase of the market in itself, and formulating all of this to just make sure that our owners are receiving the best services that.
Yeah. I like that. So I have a very similar process with my property manager, but she is unique. She is super unique. There's nobody else out there who's doing what she's doing, like Knox is doing it. And it is such a huge benefit to be able to just say, hey, what do you think tax-wise? Like, where are we standing? What can we do to raise rents? Where should we position this building 2-3 years out? We have plans with her that are, long-term plans. And I've had multiple property managers and nobody's ever sat down and said that, what you just said. So for somebody who's looking to build a portfolio more than just, one rental unit, which, by the way, nothing wrong with one rental unit. But if you're looking to scale up and take a lot of the work off your plate, how can somebody learn more about you guys? Vanessa, what is the easiest way to get in touch with you or somebody from Knox Financial?
So I would say definitely visit our website. There's a lot of great features that introduce us and what we do and are fun to kind of play around and explore. And our website is www.knoxfinancial.com, and that's KNOX Financial. And then if you're in the Rhode Island market looking for representation or interested in talking to me about your investment property goals, you can feel free to email me at vanessa@knoxfinancial.com.
Awesome. So Vanessa, we've got your contact information after the call. If you could just send it over to me, I'll make sure it's up on our YouTube channel, up on the podcast, up on the blog, in our Facebook Live, which you're probably watching right now. But before we go, 3 pieces of advice you'd give to a young investor who's, say, maybe 20 years old, picking up property or thinking about buying their first property right now. What 3 pieces of advice for that young investor looking to build a fortune?
Call Knox. Hold your property. Don't flip it. And the last piece of advice I would say is look at opportunities in Rhode Island. Right now is a great time to invest. Interest rates are low. Cost of entry is significantly lower than our sister states. So let's build up Rhode Island and make it as beautiful and wonderful as we can possibly do, or make it.
Vanessa, I love that. So one, call Knox. shameless plug. But basically what she's saying is get a great advisor. 2 was don't sell your property, buy your property, or hold your property, because that's how you build wealth. And 3, it was come and invest in Rhode Island because it's a great state. It's on the rise. It's got a lot of opportunity, and it's still not capitalized on enough, which is why the prices are still affordable. But that won't last for long once this podcast is out there and everybody starts buying in. No, I'm kidding. There's still plenty of room in Rhode Island. So we've got to jump off. Vanessa, thank you so much for your time. For everybody at the house, when you have a choice, always work with the best. Cheers to your success. Thank you, Vanessa. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, good to see you.